The best IELTS essays are simple. I'll show you the exact step-by-step formula I used to get an 8.5 in a real IELTS exam with an essay very similar to the one I'll show you today. And that's what our course students use to get from a 6 or 6.5 test after test to finally a 7 or 7.5. So let's start with something you should do when you're reading the task to set yourself up for success. So our task is, some people like to try new things. For example, places to visit or types of food. Other people prefer keep doing things they are familiar with. Discuss both these attitudes and give your own opinion. I know it's tempting to start writing straight away, but 1 extra minute here will help you write a much better essay. Read your task slowly, because everything your essay needs to cover is sitting right there in the question. And there are 3 things. Can you see them? So we need to discuss both attitudes or both views. So one attitude is that people like to try new things. And the other is people prefer to keep doing things they're familiar with. And then there is you, your opinion. It should be very clear what you think about this view. So why does it matter? Because one of the things the examiner is checking is whether you've covered every part of the question. It's called task response. And that's where good students sometimes lose marks without even realizing. I've seen people with lovely English score lower than they hoped simply because they answered most of the task but not the full task, while their English was fine. So one more thing I need to show you in this task. It actually gives you 2 examples, places to visit and types of food. These are the examples we'll be using in our essay. The next thing your examiner will be looking at is how your essay is put together. That's coherence and cohesion. I know those 2 words sound intimidating, but the idea behind them is simple. Is your essay logically organized? Do your ideas flow one from the next, or do they jump around and repeat? So first of all, our essay needs a structure. Every task 2 essay can use the same 4 paragraphs. That's our step-by-step formula. So an introduction, then the first body paragraph about the first view, the second body paragraph about the second view, and a conclusion. You don't need to be original about it. You learn this once and reuse it. But here's the thing. The structure on its own won't get you a high score. What goes inside is what counts. You need relevant ideas, and those ideas need to connect. And each one needs to be developed a little, not just dropped and abandoned. So before writing, plan your essay. Find the ideas you're going to cover and try to keep them as simple as possible. We need to find ideas for each view. So let's start with the first. And let's find our ideas. So, new things. What do you think about it? Well, I think there are good things about it and not so good. So pros and cons. What's good? Well, you see more, you learn more, and it's fun. It's exciting. What's the downside? Well, things can go wrong. And it takes more time and energy to find all those new things to do. Now, the other side. Familiar things. And again, we have pros and cons. What are the pros? Well, some people like doing familiar things because it feels safe. They know what to expect. But at the same time, it's not very exciting. You're never really surprised, right? You're kind of just stuck in a routine. Next, what's my opinion? Well, I personally think we need a mix of both. And this is called a balanced opinion. And that's my whole plan. Look how ordinary all these ideas are. None of them is impressive. And it's actually better to choose simple ideas for your essay because it's easier to write an essay then. Okay, let's start writing our 2 views and your opinion essay sentence by sentence. Overall, in IELTS, there are 5 essay types and I actually have sample answers for each of them and you can download them as a free PDF. I'll link it in the description. So let me show you the formula you can use to turn a plan like this into a full essay. Let's start with the introduction. The first job is to paraphrase the task. And that just means saying what the essay is about, but in your own words. The easiest way to do that is to change the form of the words a little. Look how the task says, try new things or places to visit and types of food. So I'm going to turn that into exploring, tasting new dishes, visiting new places. So same meaning, different words. And here is the first sentence. Some people love exploring, whether it's tasting new dishes or flying to new locations, while others prefer to stick to familiar routines. That's it, the 2 attitudes. And now the next sentence is very important. Give your opinion and give it right now. Both approaches have their pros and cons, but ultimately I believe it is best to combine the 2 in moderation. So I've told the examiner straight away what I think. A mix of both is best. And you might have been taught at school to save your opinion for the end. In IELTS, do the opposite. The essay is only 4 paragraphs long, so don't keep your examiner guessing. And that's the whole introduction. Keep it short and spend more time on your body paragraphs. And let's open the first. The first body paragraph is all about the first attitude, trying new things. Any body paragraph should start with a topic sentence that tells the reader what the paragraph is about. So here is my topic sentence, and in this one I'm actually gonna discuss some of the benefits too straight away. Visiting new countries on holidays, trying unfamiliar cuisine, and just generally looking for new experiences can broaden one's horizons, improve knowledge and understanding, and simply be a lot of fun. Notice I've leaned on those 3 examples from the task again, places and food, and I've added the benefits. You understand the world better and it's enjoyable. Now, let's explain that idea just a little. So we're gonna add an explanation. Large or small, each new adventure adds fresh impressions and makes life brighter and more colorful. Nothing groundbreaking here. One idea flows into the next. Now I've shown you the good side. Time to turn to the downside, and we signal that with a linking word so the reader sees it's coming. However, okay, so we need a downside, and here it is. However, when seeking novelty, one must not only prepare to be delighted, but also to be bitterly disappointed. Now, this sentence is a bit fancy. I've used one instead of you, which is a more formal way of talking about people in general. And I've used the structure not only, but also. Both are nice if you can handle them, but you don't need them. If it feels like too much under exam pressure, if you're afraid you're going to make some mistakes, go for a simpler option like this. However, when someone is looking for new experiences, they may be delighted or disappointed. Same idea, easier grammar, still a strong sentence. Don't reach for complicated structures if you may make mistakes in those sentences. IELTS examiners literally count how many error-free sentences you have in your essay, and that decides your grammar score. Now, we need an example to back up that downside. So let's add an example. The more new things one tries, the greater the chance that something may go wrong. An eagerly anticipated dish may turn out inedible, or a newly discovered location falls short of expectations. One small thing to notice here. I didn't want to write new 3 times in a row, so I varied it. New things, then an eagerly anticipated dish, and then a newly discovered location. In a Band 7 essay, you would probably just repeat new more, and that's okay. And one last idea to round off the paragraph and another linker. So we're adding another downside, and we start with the linking word moreover to add another idea. Moreover, searching for something new requires time and effort, which can be exhausting. Done. That's the first body paragraph. Look back at what we actually did. A topic sentence, then several ideas, so we have benefits and downsides, developed with an explanation and an example. And that's the pattern, and we're going to use the same pattern in our next paragraph. But before we write it, I wanted to say that if you find it hard to come up with ideas and develop them, that's normal. And it's the part many of my students struggle with when they start. But it's a skill and you can build it. And that's exactly what we teach in my courses. We go through every task to question type, how to find simple ideas fast, how to develop them into a paragraph like this one we just wrote. And we do the same for speaking too. These courses are designed to help you improve your score in as little time as possible. And the results our students are getting are really impressive. If you'd like to check them out, I'll link them below. And now on to our second body paragraph. The second paragraph is about familiar things, and we need a topic sentence. Yes, we always need a topic sentence. This one is quite simple. Choosing familiar options, on the other hand, feels safe. Short and clear. And notice, on the other hand, this little linker tells the reader we're switching sides. It also ties the 2 paragraphs together, which is your coherence score. So, let's develop it. What does feel safe actually mean? Let me show it with an example. A restaurant tested many times before will likely hold no surprises. It may offer the best table to loyal guests, and it will definitely feature a menu that is already known and liked. I'll come back to the grammar in this one in a second, because there is a nice lesson in it. But first, one more benefit to round off the good side. Here it is. Even more importantly, returning to the same destinations, eateries, and hotels can protect visitors from a wide range of unexpected dangers and unpleasant experiences. Good. Now we turn to the downside, and just like the last time, a linker signals the turn. Although this approach provides a sense of safety, it also means that expectations will rarely be exceeded, and few, if any, new memories will be formed. So that's our result. And finally, where all this leads, we can add a result. Since everything has already been discovered and experienced, one may soon feel trapped in a small comfort zone. So that's the second paragraph done, and notice both paragraphs came out about the same length. They don't have to be exactly the same, but about the same. Try to keep them balanced. You don't want one full paragraph and one tiny one. So now I promised you a lesson, and this one is about how to get a higher score for your vocabulary and grammar. So when people want a high score, they reach for big words and complicated sentences to impress the examiner. It backfires almost every time. The mistakes pull the score down, not up. So here is what the examiner actually wants: a balance of complexity and accuracy. So some variety in your grammar, yes, but correct. So let me show you what that looks like in our essay. Take that downside sentence again. We wrote, expectations will rarely be exceeded, and new memories will be formed. That's the passive voice, and using it shows variety. But you don't have to. The simpler active version works too, like this. New experiences will not exceed your expectations, and you will make few new memories. Same meaning, easier grammar. Bear in mind that vocabulary and grammar in this essay sit around a band 8, 8.5. For band 7, you can go simpler but correct. And all that's left is to finish properly. The conclusion is short and has two jobs. First, sum up the two sides, the two views or attitudes. Here it is. To conclude, both these approaches to traveling, dining out, and living life in general have their benefits and drawbacks. I'm not repeating all my points. There were too many and the examiner just read them. A quick note to both have benefits and drawbacks is enough. Then the second job, state your opinion. Again, here it is. In my view, a healthy mix of new experiences with a sprinkle of familiar favorites represents the best of both worlds. One tip here. Try not to repeat the exact words from your introduction or the task. And the last phrase, the best of both worlds, is an idiom. It means enjoying the advantages of two different things at once. And that's the whole essay. It's 302 words long. I would say 270 to 300 words is a perfect length. And if you're ready to go deeper and learn how to meet every criterion IELTS examiners use to assess your writing and speaking, check out my courses. They will help you get a higher score and save a lot of time. And if you'd rather stay on YouTube for now, I've got a full lesson on writing a perfect introduction to any Task 2 essay, and it's a free preview of my course. I'll put it on the screen right now, and don't forget to download the free PDF with 5 sample answers for your practice. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam.